All right. Can you hear me? Is that good? Okay. Well, thank you all for coming. We really appreciate it. I'm speaking on behalf of our entire family, and that's Clary, Buddy, me, Heather, Desi, Trey, Riley, Vera, Michael, and Harrison, who was just born a week ago. Harry Hayworth Brogan Sr. was the best dad that anybody could ever hope for. We were so very lucky to have him as our dad. I'm forever grateful and blessed for the opportunities and amazing lives that he gave us. I wouldn't be the man that I am today without him. Dad was a military man through and through, but in the good way. Proudly serving in the Navy for 32 years. Because of this, we were afforded a lifetime of unique and amazing experiences. You all know Dad's sense of humor and his stories and everything, and we all have those stories. And we could do a whole book of his anecdotes, and I'm going to talk about a few, but just a few. We'd be here all night. I'll never forget our big family trip to Germany, Holland, and Luxembourg, and Belgium. And we were on the train at night, and of course we didn't speak a lick of German. And we were on the train at night, and from Germany to Holland, and we're riding along in our little compartment, and Dad came in and he said, I think we're going in circles. I think we're on the wrong train. We keep seeing the town of Aweigh. We keep stopping there. And so we all looked out the window, and we were looking for the next town, and sure enough, the sign came up, and it was Aweigh once again. But Aweigh is German for exit. So we all just laughed, and Dad just laughed right along with it. Just he knew he goofed, but he didn't care. And that's just the kind of guy that he was. He could laugh at himself as much as people laughing at him. He saw the humor in things. And I like to think that that's kind of where I got my sense of humor from as well, because he led by example. Mom and Dad taught us to give everyone the same respect and love, no matter their race, religion, sexuality, or lifestyle. They were actually quite progressive in that, I think, especially in those days. A perfect example of this is when we were in Amsterdam, and Dad took Buddy and me through the red light district at night, and it was the mid-1970s, so you know how that was. Well, most of us. Mom stayed at the hotel, of course. Dad wanted us to show us that side of life so that we understood and that we knew that there was other types of lifestyles and everything. And I always thought that was just the greatest thing in the world. And decades later, I was talking to him about it, and I said, Dad, I thought that was just the greatest thing that you did, because you were nobody else would do that. And he looked at me and he said, I didn't do it. Are you kidding? That was your mom's idea. I would never have suggested that to her with you boys. He said, she would have killed me. And that's true. She probably would. But turns out it was Mom's idea all along. But he was honest about that. Dad's human side always came through. For me personally, I'll always cherish his unconditional love and support. When he and Clary came to San Francisco, we had brunch in the heart of the Castro. And a man sitting next to us was eating alone. And when he was done, he came up to us and he said, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I want you to know how wonderful it is to see parents so supportive. My parents disowned me, and I haven't spoken to them since. And the man walked away, and Dad got very serious and said to me, I guess you see that a lot, don't you? And I said, yeah, Dad, unfortunately you do. And he just looked at us, and he said, he shook his head, and he said, I just don't understand how anyone could not love their child. And I said something like, not everyone is as great a dad as you are, Dad. But that's how he was. He just wanted us to be happy. That's it, no matter what we did. And Dad was so proud when Buddy went into the Navy that he flew all the way from Italy to Florida to see him graduate from basic training. And he was again proud and a little bit surprised when I went into the Army. And I told him, I said, Dad, I hope you don't mind. I'm not joining the Navy, but I don't want to get stuck on a ship for 6 months at a time. And he said, son, I don't care which branch you join, as long as it's not the Marines, because in the Marines you won't learn a goddamn thing. They're just trained killers. That's the Navy man through and through. But he never pushed us into the service like a lot of military dads did. Again, he just wanted us to be happy. There was only one thing that Dad was more proud of than being in the Navy and serving his country, and that was family. He was the most devoted husband to our mom, Sue, and then equally devoted to Clary. He was so proud to be able to be the provider and to spoil them as much as possible. He wanted Sue and Clary to be happy, and I think he succeeded. Mom and Dad were together 49 amazing years. They set the example of what a successful marriage could be. Ups and downs, but always working together. After Mom's death, it looked like Dad wouldn't last long, but by chance, he and Clary reconnected, and they fell in love just like two school kids. And it warmed my heart to see them together and how much they loved experiencing new things together and taking their trips, and they were just like giddy little kids all over again. And thanks to Clary's love and her support, we got an extra 18 years with Dad. And I'll always treasure that. Anyway, I'm sorry if I've run on too long, but there's just so much that made Dad a dad, because he was really, really one of a kind. And I didn't realize that until after I got out there on my own and realized how special he was and how lucky we were when we were growing up. He was simply the best. He was a great man, a great sailor, and an even greater dad. So in closing, I want to read the last stanza of Dad's favorite hymn, which is titled appropriately, Navy Hymn. O Trinity of love and power, our brethren's shield in danger's hour, from rock and tempest, fire and foe, protect them wheresoever they go. Thus evermore shall rise to thee glad hymns of praise from land and sea. So thank you, Dad. I love you and I'll miss you always. Hit it. He wanted Anchors Aweigh played.
proud United States Navy, a very grateful nation. Please receive this flag as a symbol of appreciation for your father's honorable and faithful service to his country.